and welcome to another book review. This is the debut novel by an author called Brendon Vayo, and it came as one of the Twisted Retreat book boxes at the end of last year, and I can't remember which month, and I don't think I did an unboxing video for them. And that is Girl Among Crows. Now, this is classed as a mystery/thriller, and definitely sounds like something, if it hadn't have come in the book box, that I would have picked up in the bookshop. It definitely sounds like something that it would interest me. So let's see if it would interest you. When two boys vanish from her hometown, Daphne Gage notices uncanny parallels to her brother's disappearance 30 years earlier. Symbols of an ancient Nord god, rumours of a promise to reward the town's faithful with wealth and power for a price. She warns her husband that another sacrifice is imminent, but just like the last time, no one believes her. This leaves her with a desperate choice: investigate with limited resources, or give in to the FBI's request for an interview. For years, they've wanted a member of the Gage family to go on record about the tragedy back in 1988. If she agrees to a deposition now, Daphne must confess her family's dark secrets. But she also might have one last chance to unmask the killer from back then and now. See, it definitely sounds like something I would be interested in, whether it came in a book box or not. It sounds just right up my alley. But there is a but. I almost DNF'd this book twice. In the beginning, just because the writing, it's so haphazard and disjointed, even for a debut. And with debut novels, I do try to be a lot more lenient than I do with more established authors. Even for a debut, this was disjointed. It's like, especially in the beginning, it's like it's written in bullet points that have then been, instead of going vertical down the page, they put them in paragraphs instead. And they're very, very little paragraphs. I don't know whether you can see that or not. It's very, little bullet pointed sentence paragraph things. You can see that there. That's what I mean. And it wasn't flowing, which made me want to DNF it after the first few pages. But I persisted because the cover is so metal, it's got to get better. Because the thing that I didn't know whether it was written that way because it was a debut novel and it hadn't been picked up, or whether it was written that way on purpose because our main character and our only point of view of Daphne is an unreliable narrator, to say the least. And whether it was a reflection on the way that she was thinking, that, she was quite scatterbrained. So the writing being in her point of view would have to be quite scatterbrained too. Or whether I'm giving it a bit too much credit and it just wasn't good. Now, like I said, we are stuck in the first person perspective of Daphne, our main character. And she is a walking, talking headache. And being stuck in her head for all these pages is just... she's a walking, talking migraine. It is difficult. Now, add into that not only is she just a headache waiting to happen, she's not likeable. And the other characters that are in this book are not very likeable either. They have no redeeming qualities at all. And by the end, they still have no redeeming qualities at all. And like I said, I love look at this cover. It is so metal. A cover this metal should not be this disappointing. Look at it. It's wonderful. But one of the disappointing things has to do with the cover. Now, I've just said that I loved it. So you'll say, well, why are you saying it's disappointing? Because look at the title. What does the title say? It says Girl Among Crows. Keep that in mind. Because the birds throughout this book, and even the cult that's in this book is named after, are ravens, not crows. There is a difference. It's quite a big difference. Because there's the Brotherhood of the Raven, or the birds are ravens. Everything is ravens. And it's not even like the title has to rhyme or anything. It could just be Girl Among Ravens. It's a distinction that I don't get why the title was crows. I mean, it's only one more letter in the title. I mean, you could go 4, 5, 6. For letters, I don't think it would be that much of a deal to change crows to ravens. and I don't understand why it wasn't done. And it's such an easy thing to correct, and it still wasn't done. And it's the title. It's the first thing people see. And I'm getting het up, and I need to relax because it's a book. But even on the back it says, beware the Brotherhood of the Raven. It's a little thing, but it annoys me. Now, because I'm doing a video review of it, I didn't DNF it, because I don't do video reviews of books I've DNF'd. And I persevered with it, and it was only after it got after the halfway point that it started to find itself. It started to pick up traction a bit. But I would have preferred the events of the first part of this book to have more of an impact on the events at the end of the book. Because why go through something for half the book that is extremely tedious to have it have hardly any bearing, and it could have been a summary, like in a flashback, and more could have been given to the events of the latter half of it. I think that certain aspects of it could have been better explored, the whole dynamics of the town itself, especially in relation to the cult and its twining down the generations of families that live in this town, and how it controls nearly every aspect, how its tendrils are everywhere. And I think that could have been a hell of a lot deeper explored, especially in reference to Daphne's family, and in particular Daphne's mother. Daphne's mother was the only interesting character for me, and we don't get her point of view. We only get Daphne's sidelong, scatterbrained point of view for her, and I would have liked a better point of view. I would have liked her point of view, at least for the chapters that mattered, because I think that really could have built some of the tension. Even like odd pages of perspectives of people around the town, seeing the things that Daphne's doing, or hearing about the things that the family does in the flashback parts, could have been a lot more interesting, and really built the tension leading up to the end, because there wasn't much tension in the build up to this. You would think that dealing with a cult and everything, that there would have been a lot more, especially with it entwined in a town for generations. Think It and Derry. You know, that was entwined down the generations and in every resident's psyche. That's kind of what I was looking for with this, and I didn't get it. I feel it could have gone a lot deeper and a lot darker, because this is not like a young adult book. This is an adult book, and I think it could have gone deeper down that rabbit hole, because it had the premise of everything that I love: cults, murderous undercurrents in small towns, witchcraft, ties to dark mythology, sacrifices, abductions, mystery. It's all in this. But I think in trying to incorporate all of that in one debut novel, it didn't really reach the bar for any of them. It was trying to do too much, too quick. But the writing, by the end, I think it got into his flow by the end of this, because the beginning of it, like I said, I almost DNF'd. But by the end, the writing was good. And for a debut novel, it's not a bad book. And I'll certainly be interested in reading another book by this author, because the potential in the writing that we got by the end, the potential is there for a blockbuster book. Now, this book for me was straight down the middle. It got 3 stars, because even days after finishing it, I don't know what to think about it. I don't know whether I like it. I don't dislike it, but I don't know whether I like it. I just don't know. So it got straight down the middle for 3, because I don't know what to think about it. It's like an itch I can't quite scratch. So I won't be getting rid of it, because I might read it again. And besides, look at this. It's special edition, so it's got like sprayed edges everywhere. And I mean, it's underneath the covers. I mean, this is what the naked hardback looks like. Look at this. How awesome does that look? And the end pages are ravens, not crows. But yeah, I don't know what to think about this one. So yeah, if you've had a book that's gone straight down the middle, that's like an itch you can't scratch, Let me know down in the comment section down below, and as always, keep reading.